Welcome to the Run Cult podcast, where running meets the culture. Today, we're joined by a special group representing a powerful and long-standing legacy, Black Men Run. We're sitting down with their ambassadors to dive into the story behind BMR, how it started, how it's grown into a nationwide movement, and how it continues to thrive today. We'll talk about the legacy, the brotherhood, and the deeper impact of the Black male experience in running, how community, health, identity, and visibility all intersect on and off the pavement. And of course, we'll get into what exciting things lie ahead for the future of BMR. Let's get into it. Welcome. How's it going today?
Wonderful.
Thank you guys for making it today on the podcast. I'm very happy to have you.
We're happy to be here.
Let's introduce ourselves to the public. We'll start with you, and you can tell us your name, where you're from, and your role with BMR.
Sure. Hello, I'm Wendell Evans. A lot of people call me Fred.
That's Fred, y'all.
So yeah, I'm Fred. I grew up in Georgia, Middle Georgia, the city of Forsyth. I've been a member of BMR since February of 2025, so just over a year. Mm-hmm. I'm currently serving as an ambassador and more recently joining communications or web.
Got it. Nice.
Web team.
Hi.
Hey, yeah, I'm Josue Lassin, originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I moved there in Atlanta in March 2018. I joined BMR in January 2025. Not too long, but I had a good impact. So I'm currently with the ambassador program right now, me and Fred, and yeah.
Rebecca, I'm Wendell L. Holden Jr. I'm excited to be here today, and thank you so much for having us.
Of course.
I've been running with BMR now for 3 years, and it's been very rewarding. I'm originally from Tallahassee, Florida.
Wow.
Just right over the state line, and I live here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
Last but not least, my name is David Herman. Originally from Mobile, Alabama, but I've been living in Georgia for forever. I think I'm glad to be a part of this, squad. I'm the oldest of the group, so
really?
they let me hang out with them a little bit. So I definitely appreciate that. I've been running with BMR now almost a year. It'll be a year in June. But like I said, the brotherhood and the bond that we've kind of started makes it feel as if it's been way longer than that. So June will be my year anniversary.
Got it. Very nice. Well, welcome you all. Thank you for being here. So let's get started. I am really interested in learning more about Black Men Run, the people that make up this run club, and why this is so special. So I would love to learn a little bit about your stories and why you run and kind of what brought you to Black Men Run. So let's get started. So tell me about how Black Men Run began. I know this Atlanta chapter is the founding chapter, going over more than 10 years in existence. So let's talk about how Black Men Run began.
Yes, I'll kick it off. I'll just say that we have two co-founders, and they happen to live here in Atlanta, Georgia, Jason Russell, as well as Edward Walton. And they are active, they are engaged, and as you mentioned, we have the benefit of having them here locally, and Atlanta is like the host BMR chapter. So, yes.
Nice. And what year did it start?
What year? I know I think it was 2013.
2013.
So we're like 13 years in now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, a little over 13 years in.
All right.
Yes.
So we have two co-founders. They began in 2013. Any more information on how they started? Like how did it grow? Or
So if you want to think about Black men and Black men's health, I think the start of this organization began and centered around that. You don't see a space of a lot of people who look like us who are focusing and consistently working and bettering themselves when it comes to their health. So there's a story in reference to our founding. If you go look at starting with conditions around Black men and making sure we're taking care of ourselves. I think if you look back on a lot of things, we are less likely to go to a doctor. We're less likely to do many things. So I think it's an effort to make sure we're continuing to focus on taking care of ourselves.
Got it. Well, I'm so happy you guys are here to continue that legacy all the way now in 2026. So I did want to speak a little bit more about, your individual stories and what brought you to Black Men Run. So let's hear, a little bit about when you realized there was a need for a change in your life to get into running.
Yeah, for me, Rebecca, it started with the pandemic. I was inside. We were all hunkered down. We couldn't do much. And so I started by walking and learning my neighborhood at the time. And I also was tuned into social media, and that's when I learned about a lot of social run clubs, and Black Men Run was one of those social run clubs. One of the things that stood out for me was what Black Men Run stands for, brotherhood, unity, and health. And so I figured, you know what? Let me try this club out. Let me see what the brotherhood is all about. Let me see what having the unity is all about. And of course, the health benefits as well. And so I'll never forget, it was a little over 3 years ago in March.
So 2023.
Of 2023.
Okay.
I decided to participate in a run that was happening on a Saturday. And so when you think about Black Men Run, we have in Atlanta a couple flagship run days. Typically it's Mondays.
Okay.
And it's also Saturdays. And then there's some other things that we may do as well. But at the end of the day, this was a Saturday, and unbeknownst to me, it was a long run day. I came out with the thought of perhaps doing only 3 miles, and I was going to go back home. But when I arrived, we stretched together, we warmed up together, and the brothers at the time had mentioned, hey, it's long run day. And I was like, okay, well, I've never done anything more than 3 miles. But I was feeling myself this day. So I started out running, I was feeling well, and we made it to the halfway mark, which was 5 miles. And we were getting ready to turn around.
So it was a 10-mile run.
It was a 10-mile run.
Oh my goodness.
And after the first 5 miles, I was feeling myself. I was feeling good. I was keeping up. I wasn't winded. Okay. So on that second 5 miles back to complete the run, I started to slow down a little bit. And I told the brothers, I said, y'all go on. If I don't finish, I have my phone. I can, call Uber, Lyft, pick me up. And so I think I had about 1.5 miles left. I will never forget this. 3 brothers, they waited for me.
Do you remember who they were?
Yes, it was our captain, Mark Monroe.
Okay.
And it was Brian Nixon, and it was Oscar Camillo. And they waited for me, and I could see them in the distance waiting for me, like they were looking for me to see where I was. And I was coming up the hill, and I was in my zone. And when I finally made it to them, it was like an angelic presence. They got around me, and we ran that last 1.5 miles in, and I wanted to just I don't know, I was emotional because it was my first time experiencing something like that. Someone waiting on me to finish, and I was struggling.
And you were new.
And I was new.
So they could have.
So, exactly. But again, that speaks to the brotherhood, right? And I was very grateful for that. And since that run, I know Oscar, he always, when he sees me, he'll reference to me as that's 10 miler right there.
Hey.
Because my first mile was 10. My first time running was 10 miles. Yeah. So that's my story.
That is so special.
You jumped out the gate with 10.
That's crazy.
I felt it right the day later, and they talked about that. After the run, they were like, "Brother, you need to go home and soak. You need to go home and prepare yourself because tomorrow morning is not going to be well."
Wow.
But I was grateful for that.
Yeah, what an impression. That's amazing.
Yes.
All right, let's hear from.
I'll go ahead. So I probably connected to running in itself back in 2013, 2014. I like to say I have social anxiety. If you don't know me and if I don't know you, I probably won't say much, unfortunately. But that's just getting over the border or the boundary of not getting to know people. So it takes me a moment to warm up to a group. So I've, for the longest, did things either by myself or with 1 or 2 friends. So similar post-COVID, you get in this space and realizing, hey, I hadn't been consistently running for a long time. I want to get back into this thing, wanted to improve my health. So I actually, through a friend, went to my first run group, which was Running Brunch. And that just showed me a new space of being comfortable with more people in an area of things, you enjoy doing. So the community aspect, which I feel I didn't have to running before I developed it with another group. So I've known about BMR since it been created, because I used to see the group run on the belt line in the past. But again, it was one of those times where I just preferred doing it alone.
Did you feel like you couldn't like tap in, or?
I mean, again, the social anxiety portion of that, I think a lot of people deal with that.
So how did you get over that?
I think just becoming comfortable showing up, and even if I show up and don't say anything the first couple of times, it's just showing up. And then eventually you connect with your people, and then, you know, it becomes a thing. Now I have to do this. Now I feel it's a part of my routine because I made connections, I made bonds, and it's something I look forward to. And it's in my neighborhood, so why not? So those things. So that kind of got me into the group last year, where like there's no turning back. I've only missed a few sessions, and that's because of, you know, just random things. But for the most part, I've showed up every moment since.
That's interesting to hear, because Fred is like, he's like the glue that holds a lot of people and groups together. He is a leader, also with Run and Brunch, you know, coordinating and making sure that we all know what's going on and things like that. Yeah. So, but I did, you know, I have seen you like in my beginning times with Run and Brunch, and you did seem like a little bit over to the side, but friendly still. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I
always hope that it's not seen as
like standoff.
He thinks he's too good or standoffish. But it's just me working in my head. I'm probably talking to myself or talk myself out of saying something in a moment where I should just speak up.
So for someone who has, you know, do you still consider yourself a little bit socially anxious?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. No, well, we've grown a little bit over the years.
I'm aware of it, and I think it's a point of accepting it as a part of who I am, because I think actually that's the thing that also may have protected me in spaces of life. Okay. So I lean into it, but I also know that I must, if I want to engage, because I like to say I'm a antisocial person.
Yeah.
So I enjoy being social. It's just hard getting over that hump of initiating conversation or communication. But once I get over that hump, I enjoy that thing. I enjoy the energy from it. So I have to force myself to do it a little more often.
Okay, so hopefully those who are watching who are suffering from a little bit of social anxiety can look to you, because it's like an introvert extrovert type of vibe. Yeah. So all right, very nice. Who's next?
You know, I think my situation was a little different than theirs. I was the one that, you know, I've been married now for 21 years, same routine for the most part, which is a good, you know, thing, you know, all the little date nights and all that kind of stuff. But as far as activity, it was work, go home, you know, kind of chill out, you know, or whatever. I was kind of a couch potato, not big or anything, but so I go to the doctor one day, just a regular routine, and the doctor says, hey, you know, the cholesterol's a little high, and, you know, you're approaching, you know, the numbers, they're not bad, but they're not good. You know, they're approaching this little pre-diabetic on stage. And I was like, hold on, what you talking about? You know, she was like, yeah, you know, because if you reach the diabetes stage, you have to end up, you know, doing insulin and all that. I said, no, I'm not doing all that, you know. So what's some things that we can do? Eat a little better? Okay, cool. She said, how much exercise do you get? I was like, what is exercise? You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really exercising at all, you know what I'm saying? So first thing I thought of, well, you know what? I got a nice little neighborhood, you know, I'll just run in the neighborhood a little bit. So got out there that first time trying to run a mile, but I didn't make a half a mile before I had to stop, you know, and walk, and that was cool. It was whatever. So I was just kind of getting consistently kind of doing that on a regular basis. And one of my best friends was like, hey, you know what? I got this little resolution, you know, that I want to do at least 1 5K a month. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Sign me up. I wasn't even sure exactly how far a 5K was. I thought it was 5 miles. Be like, no, it's 3. I'm like, oh, I got that. So I showed up on my first one, was about to die. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. But all of a sudden, I got this medal around my neck, and I was like, hold on, we get these every time we run. It was like, yeah, for the most part, you do. I was like, well, hold on, when's the next one? You know what I'm saying? So I was hooked, you know, with the, you know, just the 5Ks or whatnot. So, you know, in signing up, you know, for 5Ks, you know, at least once a month or whatever, we were trying to figure out what the next one was. I would always see black men run with the shirts or whatever. And I was like, oh, man, that's kind of cool. You know, and then I would find myself at times slacking off, you know, during the week. I could make excuses on the heartbeat for why I wouldn't want to run. And it all sounded good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I finally reached out one day, I just said, so one of the guys at one of the runs, I think it was at Mercedes-Benz, we finished on the field. It was that mad run or whatnot.
Yes.
And I saw one of the guys and I said, hey, are you and Black Men Run? And this particular, I was like, no, I'm not, but these guys are. And they introduced me to Ernest. It was cool.
Okay.
And so they said, hey, man, we run on Mondays, get in the halo, whatever. Come on out. All right, cool. Still didn't do it at that point. Things started happening or whatever. But I went online and I already bought a shirt, everything. I was ready. I never wore it, but I was like, hold on, I ain't in the group just yet. But as soon as I showed up, that day, it was almost like, hey, you basically just say, hey, my name David, and I'm glad to be here. That's it. And you're a member, at that point, and you feel like, you've been a member, for quite a while or whatever. So it was that scare initially of just not wanting to.
Yeah, a little bit of fear.
Yeah, and then once I got in, it was just like, you know what, I like what I'm doing, and I like how my body is responding, to the run. And then you meet, you meet the squad.
Yeah.
You meet the squad, and then all of a sudden, it's little accountability, factors in there now. If you're not there, hold on, bro. Where are you? Even with the podcast, it was like, yo, you gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things too. So it brought an accountability factor, but the first was the fear factor of just making sure my health.
Got it. So
right.
I know you mentioned a little earlier that you're slightly older than them. What age were you given that health scare?
It was in my 40s, it was around that time where, it was like, it had to be 47, 48. I'm 51 now.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm 51.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I couldn't tell.
I appreciate
guessed
that. You know what I'm saying? I guess we don't crack.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as you keep running.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these runners been doing it for me or
Got
whatever.
it.
So, and that's another thing, too. I'm by trade, I'm a teacher, whatever. So I've been teaching for a long time too. And those kids, they keep you, a little young, as well. So just a matter of, just really trying to make sure that I'm around to be able to do the things that I want to be able to run, into my 70s and 80s, or if that's the case, whatever. So just making sure I stay healthy. That was the main thing.
And the friend who kind of got you at least running in the neighborhood or doing the 5Ks, are they with you still? Like, do they run with you, BMR, or did you surpass them?
Well, it's a surpass, you know what I'm saying? Because
No shade to the friend.
No, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Paul Mayberry, you know what I'm saying? So we just ran, recently, we went to, where was it? Charleston. No.
The river.
Yeah, the river. Yeah. So, first time, ever, we went out of town for that particular one together, and he was like, "You're getting a little too fast. I'm gonna have to get another." But nah, so there's certain races that it's not about a PR or anything like that. It's just about us crossing the finish line, together or whatever. Because we started this thing together, like Peachtree Road Race. I'll never run that as a personal record. We just run that one just to, have fun, with it. So he understands that I've taken it a little bit more seriously than he has. Definitely thankful for him, because I wasn't running 5Ks. I was just running the neighborhood, and it just opened my world to a bunch of stuff.
Got it. Yeah. Nice. Well, it's nice to know that you had some accountability, to kind of get you in the door, and then you took it and ran with it, and now you have a bigger network of folks that you can connect yourself to.
Absolutely.
Amazing. All right, let's hear Josue, my Haitian brother, by the way.
I was always active as a kid. I'm the youngest of 4, so I thought we ain't gonna get into that. Yeah, I was always active, running, playing sports. I was a kid that leaves in the morning, come back at night, because I was out being active, riding the bikes, whatever. As an adult, I got busy with trucking, building a business, so I lost track of, being active. I got into a bad accident on my 40th birthday.
Wow.
I might add. As I was going through the healing process, the girl I was dating at the time, I had her take pictures of me. And as I was looking at those pictures, I'm like, that ain't me. Who's that? So after that, I had fractured ribs, bruised lungs, fractured scapula, banged up hip and knees, and I had to sleep sitting up for like 2 months. And all I could think of was movement. Like how I, took for granted that I was able to have movement, but now I can't. So through my healing process, I just signed up for a race. I can't even walk yet.
Oh, wow. So you just made a decision.
Yeah, I just made a decision. I'm going to get back to being fit. with the hot chocolate, 15K. I don't know better.
I swear the K just makes you think it's,
15.
you never
I
know.
look up 9 miles. I could do that. I'm thinking the old me. I can run 9 miles. Fast forward, race day comes. Gun sounds off. I took off running. Quarter mile, half mile, I'm done. I still got 8.5 to go.
Humbled.
Yeah. So after the race, got that hot chocolate medal. I just got addicted. Started going online, looking up races. And one day I did the Mayor's 5K on the 5th runway. And as I went online to look to see if I could find myself on the screen, because you know they aired it live, I seen a guy being interviewed with a Black Man Run shirt on. Oh, that's a cool shirt. I want that shirt.
Yeah.
So I paused it. I looked up so I could buy the shirt. I see there's a whole website. Oh, it's a whole group. Oh, it's a whole bunch of black men. I still want this shirt. So I went online. They didn't have it available. So I followed them on Facebook, Instagram, and everything, and finally had a campaign to where they were selling the shirts. I bought them. Had ATL patch and everything. I was part of the group without them even knowing.
I don't think he just brought one. I think he brought like a series of shirts.
One shirt, the hoodie, everything. Part of this group, whether they like it or not. I never got a chance to run with them on a Monday because I didn't know the schedule. I didn't know they had a Halo group.
Okay. Which is a group chat app, right?
Yeah,
Group chat.
It's something like Group Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I ran the polar opposite. I had on the hoodie. I had it on everything.
He had on the gear.
Yeah.
Fully
Yeah.
outfitted.
I run out here, being like, do I know that person? I just can't run it.
Wait, so you're not telling me you have not ran with them yet, but you are fully
He
decked
is
out?
repping the gear like he's been a member since inception.
Oh, the shirt. Oh, the shirt.
Oh my goodness.
So I just run. I can't hear being on like, oh, they deep. I crossed the finish line. It's like they're always waiting on me, like, who's you?
Oh my goodness.
Like, they thought I was from a different chapter. But then they saw the ATL patch, like, wait a minute. You know what I'm like? Oh, like, they serious? Like maternity. Like,
Wow.
you know, but they was joking around and they embraced me. They added me to the Halo group, told me when they run and whatnot, and then I started going running with them on a Monday, and then ever since then, I've been there like almost every Monday. It's like family.
Right.
No matter what you're going through in life, if you go there and be with the guys, everything goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a unity, a brotherhood. You could go talk about your issues, and it stays within the group.
Yeah.
That's really good. So that was one of my next points in talking about the group itself. Some of these issues that you mentioned, I guess not only personally, but the issues that are part of the mission of BMR, how that stays in the group. Because I think, the fact that it is specifically geared towards Black men, that makes it so special and so unique. So I know when you were talking a little bit about how it began, there was an emphasis on, physical health.
Correct.
But is there also a mental health component?
Mental health is an important part of it, I think. And I can say, as to even of last year, it kind of made me step up my game. Just in acknowledging, there are these people who I feel this, I'm building this bond with, but who haven't you seen lately? I remember at one of our meetups, at the end of the meetup, that's like, I want to challenge you to reach out to a brother you haven't seen in a while, just as an opportunity to check up on someone, because you never know what people are going through. And I took advantage of it. I reached out to 2 people in the group who I hadn't seen, found out one was recovering from an injury that no one probably knew about, but again, just trying to make sure that people were good. And I was like, okay, I need to do this more often. And then as we mentioned and joke about the squad, I immediately turned around and, hey, I know we joke around all the time, but let's take this moment seriously. Mental health check-in. How are you all feeling? You good? Just making sure things are in a good space, because again, you never ask. We all could be going through things silently. Right. And dealing with it in a space where you don't have to deal with it. I feel like we're here for each other, at least to talk through it. And if we can't help you, we can help you get to someone who could. So it's important. It's a great thing. Like they challenge me to be better versions of myself. And I hope I'm doing the same for them in ways. It's a great community. One thing he brought up in his comment in reference to just the group, yes, Atlanta is the founding chapter, but if you go onto the website, you can see that there are Black Men Run groups in many other states, actually across the world. I was vacationing in December, and I reached out to a parish chapter. I know we have one in Kenya. So again, it's worldwide. So I would challenge people to, if you're seeing this podcast, like look up in your city, see if there's a group that you can connect with. It's like a fraternity. It's a brotherhood. It's an organization that you're building this relationship and connections with people in a great way. Because I think just men's issues, being a Black man, what does that mean?
Yeah.
There a lot of times you have to put on this facade of always being strong, but you can be vulnerable. You can make great connections. You can build friendships. So I appreciate this group for helping me, connect with other Black men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that was one of the main focuses within the last, I'll say 6-9 months, within this last year, speaking about mental health, because they even brought up, there were a number of times where, there were some people who, committed, suicide and things like that, but you never knew that they were even going through certain issues. So I think that became really a hotbed for us. Like, look, we're here every week, definitely reach out, to some people and just make sure that everybody is, that's doing well. And this, creating a safe space where you can actually come out, and say what's on your mind. Because, oftentimes, we as Black men, we don't want to be vulnerable. We have always been the ones that have to show strength,
Yeah.
be it in the household or whatever the case may be. But where's the platform or where's the area, that we can ourselves be a little vulnerable. So, there are times where, as getting to know the group a little bit more, I may share, hey man, this is going on, and they'll give my opinions. Sometimes it's funny anecdotals that kind of help you out a little bit, but having that word of advice, is really good. So that's one of the things that I think Black Men Run is good for as well. Yes, it is about running and staying active and healthy, but it's also about, kind of networking and learning, things about other people and being able to confide in some people too and get that advice, from somebody who may be going through the same thing,
Yeah.
that you're going through.
I feel like, that phrase where they say, like, check on your strong friend. I feel like the Black man, like, just replace that.
Yeah.
Because Black men, or in men in general, are seen as like that rock, the person who always has it together or is supposed to, and carries the weight of whatever is going on in your life on your shoulders. Therefore, no one's always, not everyone is always checking for you because they just assume you're okay because you're a Black man.
No, that's absolutely true.
So I want to hear about, these moments, specifically inside of Black Men Run, where y'all are leaning on each other, discussing these not so strong moments and how y'all help each other, because it's not always macho men who are, killing these races and dominating the runs and things like that. So
We show up, we run, but then some moments afterward, we might go grab dinner. And those are the spaces where you might get to know a little more about your brother who you just came to run with. People deal with all kind of family issues, whether it's health related, who knows. So I've been in a situation where someone brought up health concerns going on within their family. And again, you never know what's happening. You just want to make sure and check in on that they're doing well. Yes, they're showing up to run because maybe that's their opportunity to release or have a stress reliever, or maybe not be in that moment at that point in time. But again, they have to go back to that space, making sure that they're good in order to get through that next space. Encouragement, kind of, I'm a glass half full person, try to find perspective in things, so that they can know tomorrow could be better.
Got it.
Yeah.
So are these initiatives brought from like the top down? Like, do you guys get messaging from like the national leadership about, hey, we're gonna focus on this? Or how do these things even come up for y'all to reach out to these people because of a movement?
A lot of starts with our captains. So each of our group meetups will be led by one of our captains. Mark Monroe tends to start ours most days when he's there.
Like vice captains, Lamar Burt, Ernest Cooper, and there are a host of others that typically lean in to kick us off.
Yeah.
And usually there's some type of announcements that are made right before we start our Monday night flagship runs that typically take place at 6:30. And there's usually some type of awareness. From there, we warm up together, right? And then we begin our 3 to 5 mile run on Monday nights. But typically, there's usually something discussed, right? That's the platform for insights to be shared. And it's like a check-in. And if we see new brothers that are there for the first time that might be wearing gear or might not be wearing gear, we embrace them and bring them in the fold as well.
Yeah.
Got it.
And you mentioned coming from top down. As becoming ambassadors, I feel like some of the veil has been lifted and you kind of see how things are operated. Black Men Run is run like a business. It's an organization that has a leadership team that's helping control what's happening behind the scenes. As the ambassadors, working on promotion deals with branding and things of that sort, but also with initiatives, scheduling meetup and events throughout the year that we can do collectively as chapters. Recently, because of being an ambassadors, we had an opportunity to get entry into the Philadelphia Love Run, which happened on March 29th. So, a free race, a medal. I got some points.
Works for me.
I got some airline points. Let me take advantage of this race. But it was wonderful to step into that environment. I knew it was going to be a tight deadline, a tight turnaround trip. With a race, you got to pick up bibs and things of that sort.
Right.
How am I going to get my bib? I have to get there literally 2 a.m. the day of the race. What we did, reached out to the Philadelphia chapter through Facebook initially, and then we got added into their group chat. Hey, we're coming in from Atlanta. Could anybody assist us with picking up our bibs? And literally a few people were like, oh, I'll take care of that. And it went beyond that. Shout out to Lawrence in Philadelphia.
Thank you, Lawrence.
He's a captain in Philly's chapter. But he immediately got our bibs. He went even further, picked us up from our hotel on race day, got us to the race. And literally we hung with them the whole day. And for a day trip, it felt like we'd been there a week. Like now I'm seeing their social media posts like, I'm missing out. Like, that's my other crew. I'm not even there.
Yeah.
So it's just great energy and just, again, connection to a space. So now I'm looking forward to traveling to other spaces to run just so that I can get involved with those chapters and hopefully build similar connections that I was able to make with Philly, because now, let us know when you come to Atlanta, because I want to now make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah.
And then if I'm going into another space, again, extending out the arm and hopefully them doing the same thing. So as I travel going forward, I'll be looking to see if there's a group in the area.
Similarly to Fred's story, work takes me to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay.
And I'm always now finding ways to stay active, whether it's running, whether it's, doing any type of exercise. And in the Dallas area, there was another organization that I found out about on social media that was doing like one of these group fitness calisthenic workouts in this huge park. And so I went there in the evening, I registered for it online, and I wore my BMR shirt. Unbeknownst to me, I did not know that there were other BMR members that were attending that event. And so after the event was over, they came up to me, introduced themselves, and they told me about when their flagship run was going to take place. To my benefit, I was actually staying over the night, and I was able to run with them during their flagship run on a Saturday.
How was that?
And it was amazing, and I was ready for it. And every time I go back to Dallas, I'm able to dial into that same group now, from the connections and the bonding that happened during that weekend.
Wow, those are some real tangible benefits.
Yeah,
they done rolled out the red carpet for y'all.
Absolutely.
Like having a cousin in every state, man.
Absolutely.
Big bro about to pick you up from the airport. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
This is what we want to hear. These are the things that make us curious about how this group operates and some of the fringe benefits outside of course, running. I've seen you guys hang with each other more than once. So outside of the flagship run, what other time do y'all spend with each other?
Well, I'll start by just saying, with these three guys that are here, and there's a fourth.
Yeah, the fourth,
Van Russ. He couldn't make it today because he's actually running and another run.
Cherry Blossom. Yes.
Absolutely. But how we stay connected, in addition to BMR, is through text thread. We motivate each other. We check in. We'll drop something. And I can tell when somebody's on something because my phone is always buzzing through the day. I'm like, okay, what is David saying? Or what is Fred saying? Or what is Joe saying, in the text thread? But
Wendell is the one who's always catching up later.
I'm like, look, I'm working. Like, oh, look what they're doing.
Later, when is this race?
But we might throw a race out there. We all signed up, and then a week later, he was like, "Wait, I was supposed to sign." We said you were supposed to sign. Yeah, you're supposed to sign.
Here's the promo code.
Yeah, absolutely. But I really appreciate just the brotherhood and just the connectivity, and we call ourselves the squad.
Oh, okay.
And we really support each other, and we can be having personal things going on in life, or we're celebrating something, right? Like David just had an anniversary, right, last week, and so we chimed in over text and wished him a happy anniversary. I had something going on. I shared that with the squad, and so they congratulated me. It doesn't matter what we have going on. That's one of the major methods that we stay in touch with each other.
Just to add a couple of things, like one of the other things, like even a little later on today, BMR tries to, make the connection more about, more than just running as well, by doing like little things, like they may have a holiday party, it may be a fish fry, it may be like today, we're meeting to go bowling.
What y'all finna go bowling?
Yes. But it was that fish fry, it was soon after I joined. Didn't really know that many people. I knew the captains and the vice captains, but not a lot of people. I'm so happy to sit down at a seat. I don't know if Fred was already at the seat or not, but I sat down, Fred sat down. Next thing you know, Van sat down, Wendell sat down, Joe sat down. That was it. And the squad was formed almost immediately, just like that.
Yeah.
We started talking about similar races that we were already signed up for and things like that. The conversation built around running. But then, once you first get in the, the thread, you got to kind of still fill people out to see, how, are they political? It ain't a whole lot of politics being talked about, but, can they take this joke? You learn people.
Like a vibe check.
Yeah. Yep. So, after that, we learn, that Joe is the jokester, of the group or whatever. And everybody has their times where they say or do something funny. It can be just a meme that everybody just understands. And you just see the, the emotion, the icons pop up, with the little smiley faces or whatever. So, this group has been, great for me because it's one of the reasons, again, that, I love BMR, but I love the squad even more, you know what I'm saying? Because, when we meet, it's healthy competitions. Joe will let you know, hey, I'm about to put on these Metal Vanguards and I'm going to put it in slow motion as I'm going by you. So you're thinking, I'm going.
With his BMR gear.
Hold on. Exactly. Not going to always be the last one, you know what I'm saying? So, it's that kind of healthy competition that kind of, keeps you going. And, we celebrate each other. They notice little things. We may not say anything, but they'd be like, oh, man, congrats on your PR. Like, I didn't even know I had a PR. We're just kind of checking for each other and just kind of keeping us going. So, I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
I'm proud of you, too, man. David's speed has really picked up.
Really?
This man is he's going to the podium now.
Yeah.
And just recently.
Hold on.
Last two runs.
They go to the gym.
Absolutely. He is like turned up.
Filling up his shirts.
Brother is swole.
The cool thing, about it is, we have these runs where, at one point, I think I was nursing an injury. It might have been a stress fracture or whatever. And I'm competitive by nature anyway. And to see everybody is running by me, I'm like, oh, man, this is killing me. But the cool thing about Batman Run, what's it, Don? Is it Don? Yeah, Donald. He'll, when I'm telling you,
Don Webster.
Yeah, Don Webster. He'll fly by you, and it don't even look like he's running that fast. But next thing you know, he's gone. Then he'll come back. But as I'm running, to finish up, it was kind of a similar moment, to Wendell. He'll come back and check on the last person. So it's literally no man left behind, you know, with Black Men Run. He will run the whole minute back and run back with the last person to make sure that that person is there. So I didn't realize it at the time that I was the slowest in the group, but, you know, not by much, but slow enough, you know what I'm saying? But I said, hold on, I'm going to be a little bit competitive, you know, and try to get up in there. So that inner motivation, they probably didn't know that they motivated me or whatever, but that little inner motivation, you know, just to make sure that, you know, we're good. But they weren't going to kick me out the group and then, but
I literally this morning I said, don't kick me out. I noticed that I'm probably about to be the slowest. Because they getting way too fast, and I'm trying to figure out, do I want to get faster?
Yeah.
So,
right, that's that too.
We have to mention Don's age as well.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I will say is Black Men Run, folks in their 20s, right?
Yeah.
But I think we have members that are well into their 80s or approaching 80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these brothers, like, they're not slowing down.
No.
Nah.
You know, mid-70s, you know, brothers are moving.
And they will smoke us.
And they will leave you.
You're a youngster.
Yeah.
Oh, young
But they won't leave you behind, though, and that's what the point David was reiterating.
Got it.
Kind of shared.
coming into the space, I mean, we're all 40 plus. So it's one of those things where I get out here and I'm even more motivated because I see people who are, 10 years my senior.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Killing it. Not just killing it, but like running consistently,
Yeah.
like going to the podium. Ernest Cooper.
Yeah.
Ernest, we killed.
I mean, Ernest, he is a beast.
What, 18 minutes?
18
5K,
minutes,
17 minutes?
5K.
Yeah, 18 minutes, 5K.
Yeah.
He is going to the podium usually every 5K race that he runs.
But who I really love is Lamar, because Lamar is one of those where he's pretty quiet.
Yeah, Lamar.
But Lamar,
Yeah.
you look at his easy. Okay, we have a person in our group, Van. Van is probably one of the fastest.
Yep.
Then
And
we look
our
at,
squad.
and then we look at, and then we look at when. So when I was like, man, Wendell be wide open. So Wendell is probably second-ish. Joe probably want to argue with Joe right now.
Joe trying to compliment me.
I think Wendell is second, and then we got like Joe Fred, and then probably me. Fred Joe. Joe Fred Joe. You know what I'm saying? It kind of
So y'all are kind of neck and neck.
yeah.
No, Joe's actually faster than
But speaking about one of those Saturday runs, Van was like, hey, I'm gonna go meet, it was some guys, because different guys are training for different, things. They have different, half marathons coming up, and, Detroit Free Press, I'm gonna run that, in October, so I'll get ready to start doing that. They were doing a long run, and Van, for us, I think he can keep up with everybody. He came back to the group and was like, man, I was about to die, because their easy run pace was, something like 8 minutes or whatever. I was like, I've never ran 8 minutes in my life, So I would have never been able to keep up. So he said he was fighting for his life. So if he was fighting for his life, I know what I would have been. I would have been like, all right, y'all, I'm just going to Uber, to the spot
So
with him.
are you saying LeVar was going fast?
So
Okay.
Lamar and Ernest Cooper, I think they invited Van to come and run with them on a Saturday. He's saying that Van was like, ooh, the brothers were they were pushing.
Van is fast, For him to say that, what I'm saying? So, I mean, we do have some guys in there that are, Ernest is around my age, or whatever, but I think Lamar's a little bit older, but we do have some older guys that are really pushing the limits, whatever, and can give the, the 20-year-old, 30-year-old, run for their money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's amazing because it is possible
Yes.
for you to be at your very best without using age as an excuse.
So there's another guy I follow, or whatever, but Thomas Chalmers, he's so funny, to me. He was on Facebook and I heard him say he was talking about a mentor that he had and how when he first started, the mentor, he would talk to him, but he would still be flying by him or whatever. So he said, recently he was like, you know what, I got a thought for you. He said, get you a mentor and run past the ass. So that was the thing, they find you a mentor that was faster than you, but not just run past them or whatever. So that'll let you know that you arrived a little bit. So I don't know if I'm gonna ever catch Lamar or none of those, but they do give me something to strive for, to be like, wait, I can be, mid 50s or, even approaching 60 and still, running 7-minute, miles or whatever. I got to keep in mind too, though, that they have been doing it for quite a while or whatever. Whereas me, I started pretty much when I started with Black Men Run, a year and a half or so ago. So it's levels.
You put it in perspective. So are there any other, so this is the squad or, most of the squad. Are there any other groups that have formed inside of themselves in
absolutely.
Black Men
Yeah.
Run?
Like that happens in any group,
In
any group, any organization. One of the things, and it was a fun internal competition. We recently did the Selma to Montgomery 51-mile relay. Black Men Run Atlanta sent five teams to
How many
that
people is
relay.
that?
So each team could be up to 9 people.
Yeah.
It would just, we interestingly made competition within, but it's like the groups formed and probably were already groups within themselves. So you got Captain Monroe's group, the Deuces. So which just again, and we know the fast team that we weren't gonna beat.
Which were the older guys.
No, it wasn't gonna even be close. You know what I'm saying? So
Maybe could be second, but they got us too. So it was one of those things. Again, it's just fun competition within, just to keep each other motivated. Because Joe and I kind of were starting to become friends before the group started, but we connected because we were similarly paced. And I think because we run at the same, it kind of keeps someone to motivate you. You know, he might do a little bit better than me this race, or I might do a little bit better than him the next one. And whether, you know, you're just striving to do a little bit or get better within yourself. So I think that kind of is where it started from. And then after the fish fry, I think we all went to an ARC run, the 4 of us.
oh, we did.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
Which is where we first connected as a group.
Yes.
I forgot about that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a bond that can't be broken now. I mean, I know I'm in this for life in terms of just, you know, like the brotherhood, the health, the running. I'm really connected. And like I said, y'all motivate me, guys. Y'all really do.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit more about some of the memorable runs that you've raced in. I know you mentioned the Selma, and also if you could tie that in with any community initiatives that y'all have.
For me, this year, what stood out is what we did a few weeks ago when we participated in the Selma to Montgomery.
Tell me about that.
51
So how did y'all
relay.
get over there?
Well, give you a bit of the backstory. Last year would have been my first time participating in the event, but we had a storm that came through the southeast, and unfortunately, the Selma 51-mile relay to Montgomery 51-mile relay was canceled last year.
Okay.
And so I was grateful that some of the organizers allowed the registrations to roll over. When I first became a part of BMR, they were talking about, you know, this 51-mile relay, and it piqued my interest, and so I was interested in it. But when you think about what this race is, it's the culmination of all the things that have happened pre the run and people going down to Selma. Unfortunately, we knew what happened some 60 years ago. But this is like the culmination of the celebration of things that take place, you know, leading up to this Saturday where there's this big run. It attracts people from around the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about over 150 teams, right, of runners, individual runners, right? Some people run, like, I think there were several people that ran 51 miles, like single runners.
Oh my God.
You have teams of runners, relay teams. We were a team of 9. You have cyclists, right, that can cycle individually or cycle as a team. And so it's well organized and put together in terms of the running event.
Got it. So you guys were in a team of 9.
Yes.
So was there a tour bus? How does it switch on and off for running?
So you want to talk?
It's a whole process. So we pretty much rented a Sprinter van, and shout out to Alex Newton for being our driver.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess before you get started, Fred, the thing that I loved about it was when you think about community and supporting of running groups, yes, we represent Black Men Run, but we were able to lean into other run groups to help complete our relay team of 9. I was grateful for Fred, you know, reaching out to some of the brothers that are a part of Running Brunch to form our team. And there were things that we were doing leading up to this, participating in the half marathon. It's crazy. I should have brought my playbook. So we have been running together, right? But just not as a relay team. And so when we were forming the team and when we were the squad of 5 of us, including Van, who's not here, when we were ideating around, hey, do we want to do Selma? And we were throwing out, different ideas on how we can bring it all together. And so there's a cost associated, with registering, as well as, getting accommodations, getting a Sprinter van. But I was grateful how we all came together. Fred was handling the finances. I kind of deem him as our treasurer.
I do too.
We all had like responsibilities, in terms of the things that we were researching. And when we got everything together and organized, it was easy to plug and play the other 4 gentlemen in, plus Alex, who kind of helped us, organize some things as it relates to the race. So I'll pause there. I'll pass the baton to you, Fred.
No, good. Like you mentioned, the squad, it was the 5 of us. And then also I reached into Running Branch because that's my other group
Right.
that I'm actively
Shout out to Running Branch.
Yeah,
Shout out
big
to
shout
Branch. Thankfully, Rodney Salter joined the team. SB joined the team.
SB.
Kevin, who actually I met at Running Branch Anniversary Run, he joined the team. And then also we had Carlos.
Yeah.
Los joined the team.
Yes.
So that was our additional 4 who joined our relay team. And the route for Selma to Montgomery, if you notice, the distances seem random, but when you really look into it, each stop made is a stop along the route that was happening during the march from Selma to Montgomery. If you didn't pay attention, you would notice that a lot of them were churches.
Yes.
So that's kind of where the connection came into where each of these stops was happening along the route. I was the first leg, which was 4.3 miles.
Yep.
So the shortest was 3 miles, but the longest was 8.3, I think, 8 point something. And it just varied depending on where you stopped at. But I built the playbook. I went and checked everybody's stats on Strava to determine who needs to be in what.
Okay.
Try to position us best, how to run the race and be successful.
So how accurate was your guesstimations to reality?
It was pretty accurate.
It was spot on.
We beat the estimated time by 4 minutes.
Yes.
But
Which was impressive.
That still is very spot on.
Yes.
Well, shout out to Fred.
That's right.
But no, it was just one of those situations where, if I lean in, I lean in. So just trying to make sure that we had a successful team. We kind of showed up prepared. Position, and it wasn't no question about who ran which leg. AI says you run this leg.
Based on these stats.
You shouldn't be so fast.
Josie, how was it for you?
It was nice. I went injured, but I didn't care about it.
You were
I took some
injured.
painkillers.
What was the injury?
Achilles.
Okay.
Yeah, I took some painkillers and just played my part.
Well, he played his part all right.
Yeah.
So Joe was our hype man.
Got
And
it.
when it came to Black Men Run and, going to the flagship runs on Saturdays or participating in the holiday events that we had, Joe was always hyping up that the squad, we gonna bring it.
Yeah,
We're
we're here
bring
now.
it.
I'm like, oh, that's
We're
the
here
there these
now.
previous years. Hang that up.
And this was like months before Selma, right? We hadn't even formed our relay team, but Joe was hyping up, and so we knew going in that, hey,
We had to bring it.
we had to bring it.
Yeah.
And
We had to lean into it because
Yes.
at first, what Joe get us into.
what is Joe doing? But we were talking it up, and I think all said and done, all fun and games. I was very impressed on how we pulled it together. I mean, we had things in Google Docs,
It sounds
and then
like
Fred
it.
took
Yeah,
it
it
to
was
the next
good.
level with adding those extra components to it. We had a playbook. We literally had a playbook that Fred referenced that really gave us a roadmap of the run itself, but how it all came together, accommodation. Each of us had responsibilities, from renting the van, bringing the snacks and the coolers, and just coordinating all the logistics. Where are we gonna meet? Where are we gonna all park so that we can all be in the Sprinter van together, ride down together, have the same accommodations up under the same roof, what time we're gonna leave, the morning of, who's gonna drive, right? And just making sure that along the route, we were having those check-ins, because the run was very, you really had to lock in.
Were there hills?
There were
Yeah,
hills.
heels.
There were hills.
And it was 82 degrees that day.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, cold.
Yeah.
I mentioned I was the first leg. It was cool that morning.
We started in Selma, and it was cool
Was
that
it in the
morning.
50s?
It was in the 50s.
It was in the 50s that
Yes.
morning, and of course me starting, I'm with the crowd.
Yep.
But as the day went along, the people who were in the latter part of the race, we're literally running on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
So that white line and the grass,
That's what you have,
that
that
space
shoulder.
because there's active traffic.
Oh my goodness.
And sometimes, some people will give you the courtesy of moving over, but then some people who didn't care, you almost could feel the wind from a car blowing, rolling beside you. So you had to look out for yourself. You had to be very careful. That's just the nature of the route.
Was the sprinter
So we would
riding with you?
So you could trail your person, but you also have to make sure you get to the next stop to drop the other person off. So you would drop a person off, they would run their leg, you get to the next spot.
The sprinter's waiting for the
At the next stop. Yeah. And then sometimes we would loop back just to check in or stop midway just to make sure you need water. How are you feeling on this route? Because legs 4 and 5 were the toughest with the hills.
Yeah.
And
Highest
then
elevation.
the later legs also got tougher because of the heat.
There's no shade when you're running on highway.
Yeah.
I mean, we were literally running the route
That they walk.
Wow.
When you think about that, right? It's very remote. It's fields, no shade. It's highway, gravel. It's cars coming by you. You really have to lock in, especially if you're on some of those long stretches. Like the longest stretch was like 8.3 miles. And even the 6-mile route that I had, like you really had to lock in.
Yeah.
And remain focused on like why you're doing this, right? Sure, it was a relay, but for me, it was even more endearing to know that, this event happened,
Right.
Yeah.
And as a result of this, people were very determined to execute their vote and just what it all stood for. So, yeah, it was really touching, very, very touching.
Now you know what they went through, and you walked in their shoes, you ran in their shoes.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing to overcome. What were you going to say?
No, I was just, I'm just kind of thinking in terms of the experience for me was, it was great. It was one of those situations. I had the last leg. So for me, just seeing how everybody put their, they put their heart into their run. It's not like those runs where, he mentioned hot chocolate. Man, hot chocolate has thousands of people, and every time you turn around, you can grab onto somebody that I could kind of push you the rest of the way. This run wasn't like that, So when Wendell was saying you got to lock in, you literally were running by yourself for long stretches, of the race because there were literally no one. I don't think at any point in time was there anyone that, was like right next to you that you could just kind of, run side by side with to give you that extra motivation. So, even with the last leg, my thought was, just bring it home. And then at the end, almost like that angelic kind of feeling. They kind of hopped out the van and they ran with me to the finish line or whatever. So we crossed the finish line to downtown Montgomery.
Had to get to the Capitol.
Yeah, and we finished it, at the Montgomery Capitol together. It was really powerful to do it with these guys right here. It was really cool. So yeah, that was a great experience that I look forward to, doing it again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like to add this too.
Yes,
Although it was
go
a
ahead.
bunch of different teams, BMR and other run groups from other places, everyone checked in on each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Complete strangers. You good? You got some water?
Yep.
You hungry? We got something in the van. You all right? Yeah, thank you.
solidarity right there.
Yeah. Because we know how tough it was, so we just wanted to make sure that everybody was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that support. That seems kind of brutal, at least for me. So, it's very commendable that y'all were able to get through that. Were you doing just one, or did you have to do it twice? Like, were there?
No, thankfully it was 9 legs.
Yeah.
So we built our
Oh,
team
no.
so
Oh, that's
each
so
person had
smart.
a leg. So
Once you ran, you're done.
you're done.
Yeah.
Or you waiting all day to run. So
Yep.
it took us 7 hours and 15 minutes.
Yep.
Overall, though, I was really happy because, we took 5 BMR groups, and I think we were third. We were the third BMR group, which was cool. This was our first time doing it. But I think 11th or 15th or
11th overall.
11th overall out of all those teams.
And I think
82, almost 90-something teams.
We were like 11th
Our
overall.
first time.
So
Our first time.
the pacing of our time was like a 8-minute.
It was
40
crazy.
something second
Yeah.
pace, which is great for.
That just goes to show you how preparation can really like determine your outcome. Not to say, everyone else wasn't prepared, but it sounds like you were meticulous as far as making sure the right people ran the right amount of legs and pace in chronologically, putting them in order to finish.
The guy who ran solo, who finished first, literally finished maybe 30 minutes after us.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was. I think he maybe finished 7:40 something. Well, yeah, he came as we were headed down the hill to go grab lunch. He was coming to the finish line.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So if anybody needs to do a relay and they need organizers, reach out to y'all.
Yeah, come to the squad.
Yeah,
come to the squad.
You'll help them with accommodations, pacing, budgeting.
Give me the whole playbook.
The whole playbook.
That's amazing.
Literally
Playbook.
Right.
Something.
Yeah.
All right, very well. As far as community impact,
I can say that I think what we're doing is trying to find ways of being more impactful in the community.
Got it.
The food bank, since I've started, was not the first, but one of the first times I felt like, the first time I got involved with actually doing one of the things that's giving back to the community that I'm a part of. So I think, you have your task and things that you have to do, but again, it's helping somebody on the other end. People who in whatever moment are less fortunate or just in the need for these supplies and things that we have access or no overabundance of. It's good to be a part of putting a hand on something that's touching someone else.
Yeah.
So we did it for a little while, and then I think we're planning to kind of do that and more of the things in the community.
Got it. Is there anything on the horizon for you guys in the future that you're looking forward to? Any races or anything as a team or?
Well, I don't know about as a team, but me personally, I'm looking forward to the Detroit Free Press. That'll be, marathon number 4 for me. But I think this was kind of, piqued my interest a little bit because it runs through Canada. It starts in Detroit and it goes through Canada or whatever. And
your passport.
yeah, I actually think you do. I think so.
Yeah, you guys.
But yeah, so that one there, I'm looking. It's in October 25th-ish.
October.
16th.
16th?
Yeah, I believe it's
Okay,
16th.
yeah, because Joe's doing the half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the 1, the 5, and the half.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Get it right.
My bad. So yes.
But you're doing that as well too.
I am, what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's one that I'm looking forward to. And I always look forward to the race as well, the race half marathon.
Oh, yes.
That is a great event as well. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Anyone else?
For me, last year was my first time ever getting my triple peach. So did the Preach Free Road race, I did the 10 miler, and I did my first half marathon for Thanksgiving. Right. So I plan to be a second time triple peacher this year. And of course, with doing that, there's all the prep runs that have to happen in between. But I'm also looking forward to the race, as David mentioned, which will be a half marathon for me this year.
Nice.
Last year it was the 5K. So I'm stepping it up, and I appreciate the brothers for pushing me. I haven't made it to full marathon status yet like these guys have, but that is on the horizon. Probably won't happen this year, but if I can get at least 2 or 3 halves in, that's my immediate goal.
Keep on running.
Absolutely.
How about you?
This year I started my journey of half marathons in all 50 states.
Oh.
So far I've done Atlanta.
This man is ambitious.
Philly, and later on in the year I'll do Detroit Free Press and then the Charlotte half marathon. I'll continue on from there, along with a lot of races that I have already signed up for. Like, I can't even tell you off the top of my head.
We got one right there.
Well, Rebecca, you know me.
Oh yeah.
So I have a
always
spreadsheet of races, and I think last year I did 40-something races by the time the end of the year came. Just like Joe, my intention is to do 50 halves in 50 states. So I'm working on that journey as well. Also doing Charlotte, which actually is Black Men's Run's official meetup this year. So that's in, which month is that?
November 14th.
In November 14th.
That weekend.
Okay, the weekend of November 14th. And my other big race coming up will be in January of next year. I'll be doing the Disney's Dopey Challenge. So David also will be doing that, which is your 4 races in 4 days. You do a 5K, a 10K, a half, and a full back to back to back to back.
Wow.
So-
Amazing.
So I'm looking forward to that. The training that's definitely needed to get there. And honestly, I was thinking about holding off from the ultimate, but just saying that out loud. If I'm gonna be trained up for a marathon by then, I might as well.
Hey.
Again, but so we'll see.
Hey. All
So
right.
an ultra or
The ultimate.
What's that?
The ultimate peach.
Ultimate
where
peach.
You do the
Okay.
Publix on the end of the triple peach.
The triple.
Got it. Alrighty. Well, as we wind it down, right before my closing, let's just hear from you guys. I want to hear what words of encouragement that you would have for somebody who was in your shoes. So, for instance, if someone is battling with, maybe social anxiety, might be a little bit, to themselves or introverted, and they want to start running, what would you say to them?
I just say take a chance on yourself. Show up, and even if you don't speak, just run. Do the thing you came to do. The rest will come.
Got it. If someone was in an accident and is facing injuries and they've been in the hospital for some time and they're out of shape, what would you say to them if they wanted to start running?
I would just say start where you are, because when I started, I couldn't be out in the sun because it would burn me. So I would have to start on a treadmill.
Oh.
I was on a treadmill with a sling, limping, doing like 1.5 miles an hour. Not even 1.5, like 0.5, just walking. People would come in and see me every day and just give me a handshake. Hey, man, you motivate me to keep, you know what I'm saying? Like, to have no excuses to come to the gym. And I just kept going. Every day I would just increase the distance, the speed, and started running.
Got it.
And now he's the star he is today.
Exactly. Mr. Ambassador right there.
I know it.
Yes.
If we ever happen to have another pandemic or any type of lull in time where we are stuck and just,
Yes.
home ridden,
Yes.
what would be your message to them if they want to get running?
You've got to just get out and move. You've got to just get out and make it happen and move and know that there's a community that's going to be right for you out there.
Yeah.
So just get out there and push yourself and move.
Nice. All right. If somebody is in their 40s, they've been chilling, they're stuck in their routine, and they happen to get some health advice that they don't love, what would you say to them if they want to start?
Well, first of all, just kind of take it seriously, because especially as Black men, we have a tendency of not wanting to go and get checkups and stuff like that. And then when we get the checkup, we don't want to follow the advice of the doctor. So just definitely follow the advice of the doctor. And it doesn't have to be, a marathon your first time out. Just start walking.
Yeah.
Just do a walk around. And that was more, I already knew my next checkup was going to be better, because I said, if I just walk a couple of times a week, that was more than what I was already doing.
Right.
So my numbers had to be a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So just do the small things, because every small step, kind of increases to make bigger steps.
Got it. All right. How can we reach you all on social media?
Strava, I'm just David Herman. And then
Okay.
Instagram is, I think it's David Herman. I don't know where the 4103 came from. That was probably what they gave me in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But David Herman, 4103.
Strava, I'm Wendell L. Holden Jr. on IG, on Facebook, on TikTok. Thank you, Joe. I am Dale Holden, DELLHOLDEN.
On Instagram and TikTok, I am Joe Runs Everywhere, all one word. And on Strava is JOSUE, last name LASSIN. Follow me.
And Mr. MR_Fred E on all platforms.
Got it.
And for Black Men Run, is Black Men Run on Instagram. And for Atlanta chapter, BMR Atlanta spelled out. So check out our page. Definitely come join the community. Come out on a Monday, 6:30 p.m. at Lee White Complex. Look forward to seeing you there.
Yep.
All right. One other thing.
Yeah, if you so happen to be in a city that doesn't have a Black Men's Run chapter, you could always go on the website and apply.
And what is
to
the
see
website?
BlackmenRun.com.
Okay, perfect. So they can check on the website for any local chapters?
Yeah, if their city don't have one, like a Black Men Run chapter, and they want to create one, they can go in there and apply.
Okay.
And that's welcomed, actually. So, yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
All right, very well. Well, thank you, gentlemen, so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
In closing, Thank you, gentlemen, for your commitment to the community. You're not only an inspiration for running, but what a powerful example of what it looks like to win against all odds while being underestimated, showing fierce athleticism, power, and pride every step of the way. Through Black Men Run, you're shaping the Black male experience in running, creating space, visibility, and lasting legacy for generations to come. So thank y'all for watching, and remember, running is not just a sport, it's a culture. See y'all next time.